Greetings, everyone. This is Terry Naturally with another edition of Terry Talks Nutrition. We're here every weekend, same time, same station. And if you want your friends or relatives to have an extra dose of health and nutrition, we're here. And we are here for you. We all need a reminder that we are the only ones responsible for our health. We could be born with a defect due to our mother's health, but all diseases are caused by our choices. And I say this all the time because I think we need a reminder all the time that we are responsible for our health. And we just cannot let it slide and not do anything productive for our health and then run to the doctor for a drug because we aren't feeling just right. Something's wrong. But over the course of decades, we abuse our body, we damage our joints, we damage our organs and glands, and then we want a drug to change our lives. Well, drugs can be important. I don't deny that. I don't take any drugs. Haven't taken a drug in 60 years. And I am not about to start. But drugs can save lives. But they do not provide any degree of health. So health comes from our choices regarding our diet, the level of exercise, the level of sleep, the level of supplements to make a change in the gap of the foods that we're eating today. Our foods do not have the nutrition that the foods that our great-grandparents ate several decades ago. So we need to think supplements to provide the extra dose of vitamins and minerals and other accessory food factors to make up for the poor quality of food that we are eating today. And if you are not emphasizing the type of food you're buying, and if you're just buying the boxed foods, canned foods, prepackaged foods, and ultra-processed foods, you are in much more need of dietary vitamins and mineral supplements because the type of food that you may be selecting does not give you the nutrition that you need. It gives you the calories. It gives you the refined carbohydrates. It gives you the sugar. It gives you the junk. And you know, garbage in, garbage out. So when we put garbage in our body, we can only expect to have the consequences of so-called diseases. They are only metabolic disorders. They are not diseases. They are due to a lack of nutrients, nutrition, and a healthy lifestyle. So today we're going to talk about elderberry, a berry that grows in Europe for cold and flu. And it's not too far off that the season of cold and flu will be here. And then I want to help you build a fitness program to reduce the risk of cancer. And now that your kids are going off to school, what about supplements for them? And you know, we still have long COVID. After our pandemic of COVID-19, those that were stricken with COVID-19 infection now are burdened under the fact that they have side effects from the infection. And these side effects are very problematic. And then what about authentic saw palmetto? And it's very hard to find today. And I'll tell you what it's for and why it's hard to find. You want a good snack? Nuts. You can't beat nuts. Not the fried, roasted, salted nuts. Raw nuts. Chewed very well. If you want to roast them at home, it's much better. You can do that in olive oil, a little bit of salt, but then you are not roasting the heck out of them in vegetable oil. And you know, all vegetable oil is pro-inflammatory. And then most people today abuse their liver. And the liver is one of the most hard-working organs in our body. It has over 300 different functions. And we can't live without our liver. And I think the creator of our bodies understood the benefit of the liver. It is so important to our health that you could actually cut away a portion of the liver, surgically remove it. Not all the liver, but if you were to surgically remove a section, it can regrow back to its original shape and size. It's a marvel, a miracle of functions that we need every day. And then I'll talk to you about the herb of the day. It's the number one herb in America today. And olive oil is good for everything. But I want to report a little bit of information on why olive oil is good for your mouth. So we have lots to talk about today. So let's talk about elderberry. What about elderberry? Have you heard about it? Do you know what it is? It's a berry that primarily grows in Europe. A European species of elderberry. The same benefits of the elderberry that grows in Europe has not been found in the elderberries that grow in China or even America. And some companies use elderberry and have no idea where it came from or how it is extracted and processed. Elderberry is a very powerful antiviral. All of our infection primarily comes by a viral illness, viral infection, not bacterial. Cold and flu, upper respiratory tract infection, bronchitis, sinusitis are all due to a flu. And sometimes the doctor just wants to do something extra special for you. So when you have a cold or flu or upper respiratory tract infection, many doctors prescribe an antibiotic. Now, when you think about it, when you say antibiotic, that means it destroys bacteria. Well, the infections I just mentioned are caused by a virus, and an antibacterial or antibiotic does not kill viruses. It doesn't do any good to take an antibiotic when you have a cold or flu. The flu, influenza, and the common cold, as well as COVID-19, shingles, herpes like cold sores and fever blisters, and some forms or types of hepatitis and pneumonia, sinusitis, bronchitis are caused by a virus, not bacteria. So now you know the virus for influenza can survive as long as 48 hours on stainless steel or hard plastic, and survival on cloth, paper, or tissues like Kleenex is about 8 to 10 hours. So you have to be diligent and watch what you are preparing food on stainless steel or plastic, or even cloth, paper that you've used, tissues. I've seen people in meetings blow their nose in the meeting, which is great, not a problem, then lay the tissue on the table. That is not proper. Tissues should be put in your pocket and disposed of later in the proper ways to get rid of a tissue that may be contaminated with viral infection. And antibiotics, as I said before, do nothing to stop cold or flu. They're viral related, not bacterial related. But there are several natural medicines that have very powerful effects against viruses. And elderberry, the proper kind of elderberry, the right species of elderberry, and we have to be very, very careful because elderberry is adulterated because it is so popular as a powerful antiviral drug. No, it's not a drug. And I say that only because it has an effect like a drug. Because it is very powerful against any type of viral infection. Prevention. Use it as prevention. And you may have to boost it up to take more during an episode where you have a viral infection. But elderberry it is so popular and so difficult to get today that many companies are using other types of material and classifying it as elderberry. One company put their product on Amazon and it was labeled elderberry extract with vitamin C and vitamin D. Wow, that sounds like a great product. And they had a great price. But if you would have bought that product and you would open it up and you would take capsules out, the first clue is by sight. The capsules, the powder in a transparent capsule was white. Elderberry is so dark, so black, so purple, it would never look white. So somebody who expected a fraud took that product into the laboratory, analyzed it, and the white powder was oat flour with no vitamin C or vitamin D. But so many people, like maybe you right now, maybe you're just learning about elderberry right now, and if you'd go out to buy it, you have no idea that it would be black color or purple color, not white. So many people that heard about elderberry during COVID-19 or during cold and flu infection order online, and they have no idea what it should look like. So when they buy it and it's white, they have no suspect of a fraud. But out of 25 elderberry products that were bought online and in big box stores, 6 to 9 were absolutely no elderberry whatsoever. And many of them had such a low level of elderberry that it did not match the potency of the label. So elderberry acts against viruses in two ways. Primarily, it neutralizes virus particles so that they cannot enter a host cell. When that virus gets in your body, it loves to go into your cells and make a home. And then it causes all the havoc that viruses do cause, infection. And secondarily, causes the immune system to activate, which can then help control the spread of a viral infection. So specifically, elderberry has been found to be effective against influenza type A and B, herpes type 1, and HIV. Now, here's the bonus. Elderberry has also been shown to have some antibacterial activity. Not primarily, but some antibacterial activity. It is primarily antiviral, and most infections are caused by a virus. Here's a recent study done in Australia that found when taking elderberry while traveling in flights in economy of the airplane, where you have a lot of people squeezed together, coughing, sputtering, spitting, who knows what. There were 312 passengers flying from Australia to overseas destinations in the economy class. Half received this very special European variety elderberry extract. Half received a fake pill. All the passengers survived cold and flu symptoms before, during, and after their flights. And they were surveyed for their symptoms. The elderberry group had half as many illnesses of cold or flu as the placebo group, those that were taking a fake pill. They had no coverage against viral infection. The group that had the elderberry protection had only, I shouldn't say only, had half as many illnesses. For those in the elderberry group who did get sick, it still can happen. But their illnesses lasted only 2/3 as long as the placebo group, and their symptoms were not severe, very mild compared to the placebo group, which experienced severe reactions. So you can stop viral infections with elderberry. Elderberry can be taken daily. Nothing harmful about it, no side effects. It's a food. But it's a food that has many polyphenols in it that act as antiviral effects in the body, especially during cold and flu season. But you have to look for the authentic elderberry, not spiked, not adulterated. And you need about 600 milligrams daily. The studies that were done on the economy class passenger plane that protected those passengers with elderberry were taking 600 milligrams, 300 milligrams twice daily. But you can also blend the elderberry with other immune nutrients to help fight even further against the viral infection, like vitamins A, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, calcium, magnesium, and the bioflavonoids from citrus. All enhance the benefits of elderberry. And then if you want to top that off with additional vitamin D3, is another way to help stop a virus. High dose vitamin D3. supplemental vitamin D, about 1,200 IUs daily, in school children helped to reduce the incidence of type A flu by 8%. Looking only at children who had no supplemental vitamin D, they were not given any vitamin D, they did not have it at home. Prior to the study, the risk of infection was reduced almost 60%. So for those children that had not ever used vitamin D and were given vitamin D, now they have an added protection and it reduced the risk of infection by almost 60%. So get on vitamin D3. And most experts today believe 5,000 IU to 10,000 IUs daily. Another wonderful natural alternative is propolis. The bees produce a waxy substance from plant life. Some bees make honey. Well, out of the whole colony, it's like an army. And the army is divided up into platoons. And each platoon has a specific job. In the colony, the bees make honey. There are bees that go out and collect pollen. There are bees that make the royal jelly to feed the queen. And then there are bees that go out and collect the resin of plants, trees, shrubs, and buds to bring it into the colony to sterilize the colony, because this propolis is very, very powerful against viral infection as well. So propolis and elderberry. And propolis extract, under clinical studies, 100 to 200 milligrams of a concentrated propolis extract was able to reduce drastically, significantly, upper respiratory tract infection. So you can arm yourself for the winter months. That might make your job more effective. You can be in the office or your position or your occupation every day, not missing days, not keeping kids home from school because they're sick, and then you may miss what you were supposed to be doing that day. Having sickness in the family can be very chaotic, very stressful. Now's the time to arm yourself to prevent viral infections, and do that with elderberry and all the other nutrients I mentioned, and propolis. I love both of them, and they work. I have had so many people come back and tell me that after I started taking propolis, my kids started taking propolis, we don't do any doctor visits anymore. I used to have my kids to the doctors every month. Now we haven't gone back to the doctor in ages. That's what you want to hear. I'm not trying to take anything away from the doctor. But why go to the doctor? Be healthy. Doctors are there for you if you need them, but don't make it so you need them. Take care of yourself. Eat right. And you know what? Bacteria and viruses thrive on sugar. So get rid of the juice, get rid of the soft drinks, get rid of the garbage. Start eating healthy. Lots of fruits and vegetables. Good proteins, good quality fats. Be healthy. You know, food is our best medicine. Well, we're going to be taking a break in a few seconds here, so let's take on a subject that doesn't take much time. But I want to tell you how you can build your fitness to reduce the risk of cancer. Yes, being fit, exercise, protects against cancer. Swedish researchers analyzed health records from over 1 million men who began their mandatory military service between 1968 and 2005. Following their health records for over 30 years, the researchers grouped the men into low, medium, and high fitness levels. Based on their fitness test results when they began their military service. When the researchers looked at which men went on to develop cancer, they found that men who had high fitness levels as young men, they were fit, in shape, at a weight that is in proportion to their body chemistry, their height, and therefore, these men were 40% less likely to develop 9 different types of cancer as they aged. Now, you say we can't prevent cancer? We can prevent cancer. But if we are lazy, grossly overweight, or even mediumly overweight, out of shape, you can't even make a stairs without huffing and puffing. You can't go on vacations because it tires you out because you're so much out of shape. Get in shape. Physically get in shape. And just that alone makes you 40% less likely to develop 9 different types of cancer over their lifetime. We can prevent cancer. Lung cancer risk specifically was reduced by 42%. Lung cancer is one of the most dangerous cancers. More than half of the people with cancer lung cancer, die within 1 year of diagnosis. So we need to work on a fit program. Get fit, get fit, get fit. Exercise, walk, be more active. And folks, I've got to pause here for a few moments. I'll come back right after these commercials. So don't you go away. I'm not going away. I've got a lot more excellent stuff coming up right after the break. Stay there. This is Terry Talks Nutrition. I'm Terry Naturally. Welcome back, my friends. This is Terry Naturally. And this is Terry Talks Nutrition. We're off into the second portion of our program. We're here to the top of the hour. And as always, we are here every weekend, same time, same station. You can join us here. You can't miss us. We'll always be here for you. I always want you to know how much difference you can make in your life, your health, your vitality. I don't care what level of school you have, if you're a college graduate, if you ever went to high school, maybe you didn't go to high school, whenever. I don't care how much education you have. It's not based on education. A little bit of knowledge can save your life just by knowing things that prevent diseases, like just getting fit, riding your bike, walking, swimming, jogging, walking at a fast pace, kettlebells, all keeping you in a fit shape, reduces the risk of cancer up to 40% in 9 different cancers. And in lung cancer, reduces the risk by 42%. There is no drug that can do that. There is no drug that prevents cancer. There's none. Zero. Zip. No drug. They have to wait until you have cancer, and then they bombard you with harsh and sometimes killing drugs before the cancer kills the patient. So we can do so much by just being fit and healthy. Choose the right diet, the right level of exercise. Get a good night's sleep. Stop smoking if you do. Lower your level of alcohol. Have a nice glass of red wine or white wine. I prefer red. Red is healthier than white. But we have a lot to do, and a lot that we can do, that the doctor has no idea how to do it. Now, I'm going to give you some supplement suggestions for kids who are going back to school. So this is something that's really important, that's going to change your kids' lives. Now, these are health goals for kids. Stay healthy. Don't stress, and focus. Now, in the first part of my program, I talked about propolis. And it is so ideal for kids. And elderberry, both of these. And why do I like for kids? There is no side effect whatsoever. And you can give it to the smallest child, the smallest infant, without complications. And the results for kids with ear infection treated with propolis for 72 hours, 75% reduction in ear pain. Many kids have ear infection. Many kids are reduced to the fact that they put in tubes in the ears. That's all the choice they have. But propolis reduces ear pain, ear infection by 75%. 50% reduction in redness and bulging in the ear. And 33% reduction in nasal secretion. I love propolis. And I've seen so many kids respond positively to propolis. There are no known side effects, no adverse events, nothing you have to fear. Safe, safe, safe. Now that's staying healthy for kids. And if you want to top that off with elderberry, excellent. And also, when the kids are going back to school, today there's so much stress, so much anxiety in children going back to school. How can they study? And I don't have kids that are in school anymore. But I pray for those that have kids in school, that they're shown the right way to study and to learn. But you can't learn if you're under stress or if you have anxiety. But there's a very special plant that contains high levels of alchemides. And these alchemides are used to reduce the excitability of the brain. The brain still is going to learn, it just reduces the anxiety focused on the brain. And it's shown in clinical trials to quickly reduce anxiety, both children and adults, with no side effects, no adverse effects. Very, very safe for children over the age of 4. Propolis, any age whatsoever. You can put it in a baby's bottle. Or mothers who are breastfeeding, the moms should take it. And these are shown in clinical studies to reduce anxiety. And for kids, for their ability to focus in school, Greek mountain tea. And Greek mountain tea blocks out the noise. It allows children and adults to concentrate, to focus, to reduce the stress. And it is shown in clinical studies to increase focus and concentration. And then, if you want to add another level of protection, Greek mountain tea and bacopa. Bacopa is an Indian herb used primarily in their Ayurvedic medicines. So you can pair, I should say, Greek mountain tea with bacopa, 2 herbs together. Bacopa is an herb, Indian herb. The Greek mountain tea comes from Greece. And they both provide an extra boost for memory, concentration, learning, understanding. Our brain needs support as well. We take nutrients for our body. We take nutrients for energy. We take nutrients to sleep better. Well, there are nutrients that have shown in clinical studies to provide that extra boost in the brain function. Now, we all went through COVID. Now, I'm not going to talk about what I think about the COVID conditions, but I think everything was upside down. I think so many people lost their life because of the whole situation, how it was handled. But anyway, those that suffered infection and survived, now they have unique symptoms due to having COVID-19. And now they call these the long COVID, because the long COVID specifies it is long after you've had infection, and now you have side effects that continue on for a long, long period after. Years, not weeks. Now, what can you do about them? Well, we did some research. I talked to some scientists. I talked to some researchers. I talked to some medical doctors, alternative medical doctors, not conventional. What can we do? Well, this is what I have been told, and it is based on evidence of scientific studies. It's called the COVID HEART, H-E-A-R-T, HEART. And after COVID-19, and the infection has been arrested, fatigue is the most common symptom of long COVID. But it is not the only symptom. Recently, more studies have been documenting ongoing heart issues after even a mild COVID infection. A recent study found that the risk of heart complications increased by 63% in the year after infection with COVID. Unfortunately, why and how COVID affects the heart is not understood yet. There's a lot of doctors doing research to see if they can't eliminate the long COVID effects. But there are theories that include ongoing low-grade inflammation of the heart, or perhaps directly related to a virus and its effects on heart muscle cells. So we have many side effects. Fatigue and heart complications are two of the major ones. Now, how can we recover? Well, here are some tips I got from a very famous physician who practices natural medicine, does not use conventional medicine primarily. He does use drugs in some cases, but primarily tries to use natural remedies. His name is Dr. Jacob Teitelbaum. He has done a study on long COVID. And in the study, he used a product called red ginseng. And he found in the study of people with chronic fatigue, those who benefited from red ginseng had 67% increase in their energy levels. 67% average increase in their energy levels. That is major. Now, to improve lung and respiratory health, he recommends boswellia. In a 1-month clinical trial, 84% of participants or subjects with long COVID treated with nutritional supplements including boswellia, zinc, quercetin, and vitamin D had improvement in their symptoms, which included cough and shortness of breath. Now, since one of the major side effects of long COVID causing heart complications, Dr. Jacob Teitelbaum recommends CoQ10. It is extremely essential for cellular energy. The heart uses more energy than any other organ except the brain. And in a clinical trial, over 50% of the subjects in the trial taking CoQ10 in combination with alpha-lipoic acid had a significant reduction in fatigue and post-COVID symptoms, versus only 3% of people on a placebo. That is a huge spread. Those on CoQ10 and alpha-lipoic acid, two nutrients for the heart and for the nervous system, and both powerful antioxidants, anti-inflammatories. 50% of the patients taking the combination of these two nutrients had a significant reduction in fatigue and post-COVID symptoms, versus only 3% of the placebo group, using the fake pill. Saw palmettoberry, SAW, Palmetto. This is a berry that grows on a plant in Florida. And 35, 40 years ago, companies in Europe were importing this berry from Florida and sold it as an extract for complications with prostate difficulties. Not prostate cancer, benign prostatic plasia, BPH. Getting up several times through the night to urinate, to feel that you can't urinate. Sometimes standing 2 or 3 minutes before you are able to urinate. And then after you think you're done, you're not done, you still dribble. There are very irritating symptoms associated with the enlargement of the prostate. It's not cancer, it's just that the prostate becomes enlarged over decades and squeezes off the bladder. This very powerful plant, now, the real authentic plant, can be very difficult to find. An independent laboratory in Madison, Wisconsin, tested a variety of saw palmettoberry products, looking to see if they contained authentic and potent saw palmetto. The saw palmetto, with proven benefits for reducing BPH symptoms, contains at least 80% free fatty acids and has a very unique fatty acid profile, like a fingerprint, like a biomarker that identifies true saw palmettoberry. And the results of this study, the fatty acid content varied widely. Now, you want it to be 80%, at least. They found products on the market that were sold at a very high price that contained the fatty acid content from 3% to 89%. Only 7 of the products that they examined out of 28 had at least 80% free fatty acids. Now that is the active component of the salt palmetto berry. Only 7 bottles out of 28 met the exact authentic profile for this berry. And it's very effective. In fact, it is classified as a drug in Europe. Doctors prescribe it. And only one of the 28 products tested had both the expected amount of free fatty acids and a fatty acid profile or fingerprint that matched genuine salt palmetto berry. Salt palmetto berry is very effective in reducing the symptoms of the enlargement of the prostate. Men getting up 4 or 5 times a night now only get up once a night, or maybe 2. But it has an effect that improves the quality of life of men having to get up throughout the night, losing sleep, not feeling well. They're down. Their mood is not what it should be. But salt palmetto berry is one of the most expensive natural ingredients. So there are companies taking advantage of the high-priced products that they use a very inferior form of this plant and sell it at a very high price. It's costing them pennies to make, and they're making dollars and dollars and dollars. This plant grows only in swampy areas of the southern United States, and primarily Florida, and is often impacted by weather. Unfortunately, flooding and hurricanes. And also plants are prone to fungal infections. And for some companies, they pick the berries before they are fully ripe, because they want to get a jump on the production of berries. So they pick them before they're ripe, which drastically reduces their potency. And then additionally, salt palmetto berry is often adulterated with cheap vegetable oil, because it is an oil, and it's sold in soft gel capsules. Be careful with what you buy. It's a product that you want to buy for a healthy prostate. So this is something I want you to recognize, that you want to make sure you get a high-quality, natural relief for BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. To find a quality salt palmetto berry, make sure you look for salt palmetto berry extract, standardized to 80% free fatty acids. The dosage regimen is 320 milligrams of this plant, salt palmetto berry, daily. It has been shown in multiple clinical studies to improve prostate function, reduce symptoms, and prevent progression of the BPH. You can also add other nutrients, like zinc, highly concentrated in the prostate gland, required for normal prostate function, and beta-testosterone. Treatment with beta-testosterone shown in clinical trials to increase urine flow rate and reduce the symptoms in men with this irritable group of symptoms of BPH. And boron, another mineral, regulates sex hormones, raises free testosterone levels. So take 320 milligrams of standard salt palmetto berry with 30 milligrams of zinc, 60 milligrams of beta-testosterone, and 3 milligrams of boron daily. Boron is a very wonderful mineral to reduce arthritis, leg pain, joint pain, and increase libido. It's not often known as an important mineral, but it is highly beneficial in many cases. Now remember I said snacks are important. Not chips, not pretzels, not all the stuff that they sell in bags. Artificial coloring, artificial flavoring, lots of salt, but a healthy snack. How about pecans? Are great for your health. New studies find that regular intake of pecans can help reduce obesity, fatty liver, and diabetes. Mice were fed a variety of diets. A normal controlled diet with 7% fat from soy oil, bad oil. A high fat diet with 23% fat from soy oil and lard. A high fat diet with 23% fat from pecans. Oh, fattening, you say. Oh, I would never eat that. That's too fattening. I'll get fat. No, you won't. You don't get fat from fat. You get fat from carbohydrates. So results of this 18-week study, the pecan fat group had the same body weight as the control group, while the soy lard group was 50% heavier. Soy lard group had over 400% increase in insulin resistance over the control group, while levels in the pecan group and the control group were the same. Perfect. Soy is a bad oil. It screws up your hormones. So the soy group had double the increase in body fat versus the pecan group, because all vegetable oils, seed oils like soy, like corn, and all the other oil, what we call vegetable oils, they screw up your hormones and make you fat. Now, a similar study in humans, published in 2018, reported that pecan intake reduced insulin resistance and lowered blood sugar levels. Well, there, my friends, you have a week of help to health and nutrition tips. Use what you can to make yourself healthier. Think about your snacking. Think about what you're eating. Think about how you're living. Thinking about how much exercise you get. Lowers your cancer risk when you're fit. Get fit. So that, my friends, we're all out of time. Time for us to leave you for this hour. But remember that we're always here. Same time, same station. You can join us as much as you'd like. I hope you're here every week. So I'm signing off for today, but you can join me every week, same time, same station, for more health tips as to how you can have a better quality of life. It's your choice. Whatever you choose, you have to reap the consequences. Bad choices, bad health. Good choices, good health. So God bless you, my friends. Say a prayer for this crazy, crazy world. And God bless America.
Thank you for listening to Terry Talks Nutrition Weekly Show. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform, including Apple, Google, and iHeartRadio.